Another day in the year, and it leaves us with more thoughts to contemplate and more aspects to ponder and question about. This video is about depression and how to be more sensitive and kind to it. I'll be sharing two angles to the whole aspect of depression. But before that, let me start this episode with a story. This is a story that has happened in my life, and you can call it a miracle or a coincidence, but this episode in my life changed my whole life. It was the year 2018, that is roughly 2 years back. I myself was battling with depression, and I was going through a tough phase in life. I was suicidal and I was extremely dejected in my life. This might come as a shock to my family, but I need to be immensely thankful to them, my friends, and my colleagues who kept helping me, who supported me throughout this phase, and who were the reason for me to float through this period and not sink in it. Well, this story is not about me. My story of depression I will definitely share some other day. But this is a story of a stranger who called me at 11:30 in the night of December 2018. He had actually cut his veins and then he had called me. The reason for his call was he wanted to live, but if he dies, he wanted to speak to someone and die. It was a little scary episode for me because I was actually speaking to someone who was bleeding. But still, I don't know what happened, I don't know where I gathered my courage, and I don't know how I could actually speak to him, but I spoke to him for close to 1 hour. He had a story to share and he was going through his share of hardships. He kept crying and I kept listening. He kept sharing and I kept acknowledging. I was in a shock because I was worried if he'll pass out. But luckily, he held on to the call and he kept speaking to me. I know what the protocol is when we get a suicide call or when someone calls in his almost last moments. But I needed to be sensitive and I played a role that was somehow very personal, but I kept pushing him. Luckily, I still had his phone number. I could have definitely reported to the nearest office there in another state and other city. But this was a time which demanded sensitivity over common sense. I still don't recollect the content of the talk we had. But I remember I kept telling him that his life matters. Because I was totally moved by his story and I was also in pain as I was speaking to him. After almost an hour of negotiating and convincing him, he agreed to go to a doctor. And he promised me that he'll go to a doctor, he'll aid himself, and he'll call me next day. Well, the good news is he survived. The stranger from other state and other city became my friend. I haven't met him till date, but we keep in touch just to know how our lives are going on, and he survived. This incident changed my life. I realized how fragile life is, and the stranger who came seeking help to me became a magical healer to my own condition of depression. This story has the thread to all that I want to share in this video, to all that I want to speak about depression. Here's the thing, depression is something that can't be defined, and depression doesn't mean suicidal tendencies. It is something which is completely layered. It is having so many layers to it that probably is very personal to each individual who goes through this phase of depression. It is suppression of feelings, emotions, and much more. It has layers of sadness attached to it. It has layers of confusion. In the state we feel rejected, we feel dejected. It has layers of rejection. It is a state where we can't understand what is happening to us. It is a state which cannot be judged, and probably it is even difficult to understand. In this condition, when a person wakes up, he seeks only sleep, and when he sleeps, he wishes not to wake up next morning. I know this because I have been through this. It is an inexplicable state, and calling depression a disorder is almost criminal, because I feel everybody is a little depressed. The whole body aches in this phase. It has so many symptoms that are almost extremely medical. At the same time, it is psychosomatic in nature. It is a fight from the body and plight of the mind that every individual goes through in this phase. Therefore, it needs generous amount of sensitivity and a lot of kindness and a lot of respect as well. The first angle to whole scenario of depression is to express. I know how hard it is to come out and express about your condition, about your sadness, and about your state of depression. But then, I still request those who are seeing this video, and if you are even a little depressed, please consider expressing these emotions to a friend, because your life matters. If you can't express this to a friend, then seek a therapist, because therapist is the best alternative for this condition, because a therapist, a good therapist, will not judge you, will not judge what you are going through, and will respect your condition and will guide you to heal yourself and to come out strong. There are phases in depression where you can't choose to do any of this. Then the best alternatives are writing. Write a journal. The next, read books. Third option could be take a walk. Take a walk around the town or take a walk in the garden. Because when you surround yourself with 5 elements, you gather the most possible positivity into your system, and it keeps you pushing yourself to finally express to someone. Then the next alternative is get into a fitness regime or dance. Personally, dance helped me get through this phase, and it was the best thing that I did for myself. It is a good fitness regime, as well as it's a good alternative to finally express your pain to someone. The most important thing is avoid taking pills, drugs, or alcohol. All these things affects you and has a lot of side effects. It almost pushes away the consciousness that we have in our system to operate in a healthy and functional manner. So please avoid taking pills, avoid taking drugs, or don't get into a habit of alcohol. So therefore, my friend, sometimes all you need is a little help. And I can guarantee you, help is always available to those who ask for it. So please, please, please ask for help instead of suffering, instead of doing anything to yourself that probably we will not like, or probably the people who love you will find it very hard to digest. So please, please, please ask for help. Now to the second angle to the whole aspect of depression. For me, the stranger taught me the power of expression. And the situation that I was put into taught me the power of listening. So the second angle to the depression is to listen. So to start with, all of us have responsibility to all of us. Here I am reminded of this Sanskrit phrase from Maha-Upanishad, which goes something like this. It is Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. In the current situation, when we are going through a crisis, when we are going through a situation globally, I think, and I personally feel, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam makes complete sense. It means the whole earth is one family. I think now is the time that we really consider each and every human being, each and every creature, and each and every animal that exists on planet Earth to be one with us, to be treated actually like a family. It is very easy to judge someone, and it is even easier to say your problem is not my problem. But this kind of attitude can cost a life, and it can even make someone sink deeper into their state of hopelessness. So personally, I feel it's better to sit with someone and listen to them for 15 minutes than act strange and oblivious to their problems and their feelings. So let me tell you something. I have worked with people who are young adults who are 16, 17, 18 who are extremely depressed, as well as I have worked with people who are 63, 66, 68 who are also equally depressed. Sometimes behind every beautiful smile, there are sleepless nights, tormenting stories, inexplicable pain which seeks a listener. And all they need is a listener who doesn't judge them and who just stays by their side and says it's okay. How to become a good listener? The secret to become a good listener is to not judge someone for what they are going through. The lesser you judge, more approachable you naturally become for that person to come and express their pain and express their state of depression. So, please do not judge someone for what they are going through, because what they are going through is something that is very, very personal to them, and it is actually right from their angle. What is wrong from our side is perfectly right from somebody else's angle, because their pain is something which is very, very personal to them. Money, career, progress, and fame, everything is useless if we are not able to help someone when they are in crisis. Do not underestimate the power that you actually have. That 5 minutes of listening can change somebody's life. That 5 minutes of patient listening can save lives. So please, become a good listener. It's a good thing. It's really a good thing to just be a good listener. So therefore, be sensitive to grasp the pain and be available to hold a space for someone to express their pain. Listening is healing, and listening is truly, truly, truly powerful. So to bring it all together, it's more a responsibility to be a good listener than express. And it is a good thing to express and feel light. It's all about being better parents to children, better children to parents, better siblings, better friends, and better humans to each other. It's all going to end one day, my friend. In every life, we have some trouble, but when you worry, you make it double. So therefore, don't worry, just be happy. This is it for the day. Celebrate life, celebrate living, and let's all live this life for each other. See you all soon. Until then, peace.